Hi, I'm Lindsay Sauer from Sweet and Sour Firsties, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for tons of weekly back-to-school tips and tricks to make it your best school year ever. This week is all about things you need while teaching classroom procedures. I'm going to teach you some really impactful and powerful tips so that you walk away knowing how to teach all of your classroom procedures during the first week of school so that your students can run the classroom by themselves. If that sounds too good to be true, I promise you it's not. You're gonna walk away with some really powerful tips, knowing exactly what to do. So if you're ready, let's jump in. Our first tip for teaching classroom procedures is to name it. Name the procedure. What is it that you're practicing with students? One thing I like to do during the first week of school is to make a list. Now this can become a little overwhelming, especially if you teach young kids, but you can start with days. What procedures are you going to teach on day one? List them all. Put a box so you can check it off together. But the most important thing is to name it so they know exactly what you're practicing. We're going to talk about lining up today. This is a really important procedure. And while I'm going through all the steps and the tips, I'm going to go through with lining up for you today. So first, you're going to name it for students. Today, we're going to practice lining up. Now, here's something that's going to be your best friend when teaching procedures. You're going to talk about what it looks like and what it sounds like for students. You're going to model explicitly for them, listen to what I said explicitly, and show them exactly what you want them to do when they line up so that when it's time, they already know what to do. So I've named it for them. Now I'm going to model it for them. When you line up, you're standing facing forward. Your eyes are in front of you, your hands are to your side, your voice is quiet. Notice I'm showing them and telling them my expectation. Now, here's the fun part. You're also gonna show them what it doesn't look like. This is super engaging, they love it, it really nails home exactly what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do. Again, we're modeling it so they understand it and they can do it themselves. Now, when you get ready to do what it doesn't look like, only you do that, okay? That's super important to remember. Now, I'm gonna show them what it doesn't look like to line up. I can be running to the door, I can be pushing my friends out of the way, I can be talking to all my friends in line, and they're just gonna go nuts, they're gonna love it, but it's really, again, nailing home exactly what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do. So after you have named the procedure and modeled the procedure, now you're gonna have some student rock stars come up and get to be the teacher and show everyone else exactly what to do when they line up. So grab a couple students, the rest of the students have a job. While the other students are practicing, the rest of the class is looking to see, are they doing it exactly as we practice and we talked about? They can reflect on it, they can give feedback. So not only do the students have a job that are practicing it, but then the rest of the class has a job as well to make sure that they're doing it correctly. After you have gone through these steps, now it's time to have everybody practice. This is also really important. When you're all practicing, you need to make sure that everybody is doing it exactly as you expect. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. And if you have to practice it 50 times in a row, then you've got to practice it 50 times in a row because that's the way they get it and they can do it by themselves and it becomes like magic. You guys hear me talk about all the time how to help your classroom run itself. This is how you do it. This is the power right here. This is where you have to spend the time the first week and the first month of school making sure they get it and practicing and practicing and practicing until you're sick of it and they're sick of it. Another really impactful thing that you can do while practicing procedures is create an anchor chart for students. Take a look at this one that we've created for Buddy Math. You can see I have up there what it looks like and what it sounds like, and take a look all around it. Look, there are in-action pictures of students doing it in action. You can do this for any procedure that you're working on. Lining up. Maybe students are really struggling to line up. Transitions, cleaning up. Think about what students are having a hard time with and go back and practice and model it. Make sure you're doing it. Make sure they're getting it. Tip number 5 is also really important during this time. Make sure to reflect and praise students. This is going to be another important piece to help really solidify your expectations and to, hey, you guys did a great job. I love using whole class rewards. And so let's say we're practicing lining up. Everyone is practicing. Everyone nailed it the first time. You guys are going to earn a piece. Look, we use this one during the first month of school. They can fill up the crayon box, and once it's full, they get to choose their reward. Super motivating, super engaging. Let them vote on the reward. That's another buy-in. This is all about buy-in and ownership. We want them to own the space. We want them to own the classroom. This is how you do that. Praise them. Again, overpraise at the beginning when they're really getting it. Yes, you guys rocked it. Oh, let's watch Johnny. Johnny knows exactly what to do. Have everyone watch Johnny. It's just, again, reflecting how we did. Uh-oh, we really struggled to line up that time. Let's talk about what we missed and what we can do better next time, and then have them practice and redo it. Again, these are really easy tips, but really powerful and really impactful during that first month of school. And students are still struggling. Don't fret, don't worry. You might need to stop, have everyone re-practice. Stop, build a new anchor chart. It is okay to stop to make sure they get it because they're not learning anyways. We're just wasting instructional time. We want them ready to learn. Carpet time, they're struggling, interrupting, blurting, won't stop talking. Okay, we need to stop and practice how we come to the carpet. Make them all go back to those seats, make them come back. I'm telling you guys, do it 10 times in a row. They're gonna get sick of it. Oh, sorry, now we missed 5 minutes of recess because we had to practice. They are going to get it if you make them keep doing it. They're gonna get bored of it. They're gonna get frustrated. This is how you can help your classroom run itself. Let's talk about specifically what procedures I target during the first week of school. We know the first week of school is a lot. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to teach, especially in those younger grades, to make sure that they all really get it. So what are the most powerful procedures to focus on the first week? I have 10 really big strategies that I focus on the first week of school. Does that mean I don't teach anymore? Absolutely not. We're teaching them all the time. But these are the ones that, especially during the first day of school, I really hit hard, make sure they know exactly what to do. We first start with how we get our needs met. How do we get water? How do we get a tissue? How do we go to the bathroom? How do we get supplies we need? We really focus on that one. That's a big one. They need to know how to get their needs met. You already heard me talk about lining up. You guys are gonna have to line up a lot, especially during the first day. Make sure to practice that. What I would suggest for lining up is get ready to practice it before you're leaving for your first thing of the day. Now give yourself time. Remember, they're gonna need at least 10 minutes, maybe 20, depending on their age, to name it, model it, practice it. Give yourself a lot of time, but practice that before you leave. Getting and using supplies, same thing. You're gonna have to use a lot of supplies the first week. Make sure they know how to use them right before you bust them out. Working together. I have a very collaborative class. We do a lot of time working together with partners and groups. That is really important the first week to make sure we know how to do it right. We're building that community. We are a community of learners who works together. How do we work together? Getting their attention. This is really important. Again, that first week, setting the tone for the whole year. How do we get their attention? If you use callbacks, I love them. Here are the mistakes that I see happen with callbacks though all the time. You say the callback, they say it back, but then they don't stop what they're doing. Again, explicitly model for them what you expect when you use the callback, what they need to do, and make them stop, look, and listen. That's really important when practicing those callbacks during the first week of school. We all know transitions can be a huge time suck. Again, think about how you can teach transitions using these tips to make it smooth sailing for the whole year. And make sure to teach these quickly so that when transitions do come up, callbacks do come up, everything is great. Work completion, where to turn in work, what does it look like when my work is done, what are my expectations for that? Of course, our time outside of the classroom, think about hallways, think about bathroom, recess, think about lunch, all these places. How do we go in these places? What are our expectations for those areas? We also start introducing those social emotional skills. How do we make good choices? How are we good friends? How do we have a growth mindset? These are all things that we focus on the first week of school. And I know that's a lot, but those are really big bang for your buck, really important ones that you need to start early, get them right, practice them a lot so that we're not wasting time and ultimately students are ready to learn. And I have a great freebie for you. If you have not grabbed this, this is a must-have during the first month of school. It walks you through everything we've talked about and more. It gives you tons of checklists and things to do, things to think about and think through. Go ahead and grab this freebie with the link below. It is a must-have. And of course, you know I've got you covered for anything, everything you need, procedures. I've done all the hard work for you. Take a look at these slides. They are our must-have. What's really nice is they're editable. for your own class needs, but there's also 60 plus procedures done for you. This is a lifesaver. Make sure to grab this, and all the looks like, sounds like have already been done for you. So all you have to do is go through the slideshow. There's even practice slides, there's reflection slides. These are a must-have when teaching procedures during the first week of school. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you loved these strategies. I hope they were super impactful and that you can go and do these with your students and see the magic that can truly happen when they can run the classroom without you. Tell us in the comments, which tip was your favorite? Do you have something to add? Let us know that too. Be sure to tune in next week for tons more tips and tricks, again, to make it your best school year ever. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.